happy Friday to you all. Here in Ohio, happy very rainy Friday. It's like the umpteenth day in a row that we've had rain. And it's starting to get a little depressing, just a little, but that's okay, that's life. And I think someday the sun may shine again, who knows. But anyways, it's been a busy week, guys, so a lot of things have happened this week, lots of things. Last week I went and looked at a place. As some of you know, we just recently relocated from Columbus back to Toledo. We're from Toledo originally, and we relocated from a very, very small apartment in Columbus to my parents' basement. I'm really hoping this is the last time. Like, don't get me wrong, my parents' basement is actually like the nicest apartment that we've probably ever lived in. It's a very nice place. And it's separate. It has all its own amenities and stuff like that, which is really, really nice. But you know, you're still living in your parents' basement. I'm hoping, I'm 33, I'm hoping that this is the last time I live there and have to be like, hey, Mom and Dad, can I move back in with you? So like that would be a positive step in my life if that could happen. You know. But anyways, so we moved back in there, and then we were kind of looking for a place, and I know I've talked before about how like the loan fell through, and so we couldn't buy, and we were looking for rent, but everything was so expensive. Let's have a whole conversation sometime about rental properties and how freaking expensive they are, because it's so. Anyways, where was I? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? So anyways, we found this great little place, and we're moving. Not this Saturday, but next week we're going to move everything in and do the grand final move on the Saturday before Mother's Day. So we'll see how that all goes. So I'm really excited about this. Lots of good things happening. But, you know, I still really found myself really disappointed about not having my own place, like not having something that I own that was mine, you know. And I felt like for some reason I put a lot of stock in like somehow being a homeowner and having our own home was really gonna just like be the final missing piece in the identity of who I am. Like, I don't know, like I just really identified with that, with like it would be mine. I could decorate how I wanted to, I could paint how I wanted to, we could dig up the yard and put gardens in. I mean, this is all exciting things, and you know, we could be like the weirdos that own that house over there, you know, whatever, just life goals. So I kind of found myself in this spot where I was just really disappointed and feeling like, you know, a little bummed about, you know, still having to rent houses. Not even a house. This is it's a duplex. It's fine. It's great. It's actually really cute. I sound so ungrateful, you guys. Gotta call me out when I sound like an ungrateful jerk. I'm so grateful, so please know that. But for some reason, we're gonna own our own home, it's gonna be amazing. And maybe it would have been amazing. Maybe, you know, it was totally wrong timing. We would have bought a terrible house because we felt pressured into doing it. I don't know. There's a million different scenarios. Needless to say, I was very unsure of why I was reacting in such a way to the idea of renting space. And I really think that it gets back to having a sense of belonging. And I know that sounds really weird, and I'm gonna kind of go back to a couple stories and see if I can just bring it all together. Try and bring it all together. You know me, it may not happen. So I have always felt a sense of belonging. I am one of those people that there are very few times in my life where I feel uncomfortable or I walk into a place and feel like, ugh, I don't belong here. anymore. This is not me. This is not going to work, because I think of myself as a very adaptable person, and I'm not intimidated by a whole lot. So I could walk into an uncomfortable situation and be like, they don't think I belong here, but I belong here. And then lately, as I get older and as I realize what other people my age have compared to what I have, mostly in possessions, not in, relationships or anything like that, because I have amazing relationships, I have amazing friendships, I have a husband who I like most of the time. I love it most of the time, all the time, most of the time. And I have like really great kids. I find my family to be annoying but wonderful. So I don't feel like I'm lacking anything in those areas. But I always kind of feel lacking in status. And I think like early 20s, you're like, whatever, I'm still young, I'm still discovering myself. That was me anyways. I did a lot of self-discovery in my 20s. So a little too much maybe. But anyway, so like I've never really encountered this feeling before. And then lately, like as you get into a career and as you finish college, and then you see people who are like your age and they've just finished their doctorate, and you're like, oh, I got my bachelor's. You start thinking, oh, maybe I'm slow to this. Maybe I should have more. Maybe I should have done more. Maybe. What if? And then entering the professional world, there's people who are much younger than me, who went to school and started their career much earlier, who have a lot more in terms of like material possessions. And every now and then, like I find myself really like just frustrated about that, or thinking like I should own my own home by now. I should be making $20,000 more a year than what I make. I mean, I should probably, with my level degree, stuff like that. Every now and then I get frustrated, but you have to go into a place and you got to work your way up. You can't just expect to like be handed everything. Like you got to prove you're a valuable employee, which I totally get, and I'm okay with that. So I get really frustrated. And then also like I'm the only working person in my home. Like Cliff does shows and stuff, which is awesome, and like he'll drive Uber or Lyft, but like it would be so expensive for us to pay for daycare. So we decided that whoever has the highest earning potential, which is me, should work. And he stays home with the kids, which is so freaking hard. I don't know that I could do it. I would definitely have to come up with like a game plan to do that. But so anyways, off track. So it's just like, I feel like the more you're exposed to what the societal norm is in our country, the more you start feeling like down on yourself for not having that. And it's easy to feel like, well, if I had this much more money a year, then life would be good and I'd be happy if I owned my own home. And I'm not saying I'm not happy, because I'm very happy with my life. But just this idea, if this one thing were to happen that everyone else has going for them, I'm the oddball here. If this were to happen, whatever scenario, then I would be up to speed with my peers and with most 33-year-old adults. I don't know. So I definitely have been struggling with that lately and feeling a little inadequate over, my life circumstances. And I just have really been fighting that lately. And like I said, I think it all comes back to really feeling a sense of belonging. And like I said earlier, I never really struggled with that a whole lot until kind of finishing my my college degree and kind of finding myself in the professional world and what other people's norms are, what is expected of people in their 30s with children. And it's really so interesting to me, just this feeling that unless I have my own home or have, everything that I think I'm supposed to have, that my sense of belonging is skewed, or I don't feel that I belong anywhere. And so I've really been fighting that lately, and trying to figure out how to combat that idea, because I think that a sense of belonging or a lack of a sense of belonging is a very detrimental thing to many, many people. And in my job, I see that so much, these people on the outskirts of society who've been really neglected by their family, who grew up in foster homes, who grew up in institutions, and just never had a sense of belonging, and now have found that, how meaningful and how your life can just flourish with a sense of belonging. I cannot tell you how important it is. And so then I was listening to, I'm not going to remember the name of the book or the name of the author, which is terrible. Oh shit, there is something crazy happening in the middle of the road. Meaningful things. Anyways, gosh darn it. Why was that laying in the middle of the road? It totally got me confused. I was listening to a segment on NPR, and they were interviewing a woman who wrote a book, and it was about being displaced, a displaced citizen. So, we see plenty of issues with that today in the world, with, the refugee crisis and people immigrating and leaving, fleeing bad situations. And it's just really interesting, what she said. She said for so long she felt like she didn't belong, but then once she realized kind of who she was, found her sense of identity, that she felt that meant she belonged everywhere. As soon as you can really know yourself and know what you stand for and know what is important to you, then she said that wherever she goes, she carries belonging with her. And so that we're all citizens of the world, and so we all belong everywhere. And I think that is so powerful, and I think it is so applicable in today's society, and that we've really just had this mindset of who belongs and who doesn't, and who gets this and who's excluded. And I really would challenge everyone to fight that notion and to realize that a sense of belonging, or actual belonging, is so important, and that you belong. You just belong. So in my fighting my not feeling like I belong, or not feeling that I have a real place with people within my, career community, or, even we have plenty of friends, and most of them are homeowners and all that stuff. And, comparison is the thief of joy, and you can't just compare your life constantly to others. And in this way, I think that's important too. And to realize, even if you don't have the same things as another person, even if you don't, have 2 cars and a house you own. We have 2 cars. Actually, I would love to get rid of 1 car. But anyways, just because you don't have that doesn't mean that you don't belong, or that you're not worthy to be here, or any of that stuff. So I would just say to you all, a sweet, sweet reminder that you belong. You totally belong. And I hope you realize that, and I hope you hold on to that, and I hope you carry it with you wherever you go. And wish me good luck on moving. Bye.